If you know that note, then I don't even need to explain what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Sam, and this is Miscellaneous Nerdery. For most of my life as a music listener, I've really enjoyed progressive rock. Bands like Coheed and Cambria were the first I truly became a fan of, and they really influenced my music taste. For this reason, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for grandiose, ambitious rock with a slight emo style. I only discovered My Chemical Romance in 2019 when Welcome to the Black Parade popped into my YouTube recommendeds. This was around the time that the reunion had been announced, so there was a lot of hype surrounding the band and I was naturally intrigued to check them out. At first listen, I was surprised by just how much I liked the song. Everybody knows of MCR, but especially amongst guys there's a bit of a stigma of, "Ooh, it's emo, keep it away from me," and they just never give the band a fair chance. This, however, was genuinely quality stuff, and no amount of toxic masculinity was going to keep me from denying that. Cue about an hour of listening to that track on repeat, and I finally downloaded the full Black Parade album. I absolutely love the Black Parade on first listen, and now consider it both my favourite MCR album and one of my all-time favourite albums, in no small part due to its parallels to Pink Floyd's The Wall. From there I listened to Danger Days, which has an aesthetic that I still adore, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, which is the peak of emo MCR in my opinion, and I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love, which has some great tracks despite being a little rougher around the edges. So let's talk about my favourites from the band. Here are my top 10 My Chemical Romance songs. Number 10, Thank You For The Venom. This song perfectly sums up what makes 3 Cheers so great. It's one of the darker moments on the album and a really gripping listen. The interlude before this track helps to build up a sense of ominous suspense before a violent guitar line kicks in. Gerard's emotive vocals are my personal highlight in this track, especially for the dissonant harmonies that you get in the verses. The guitars are frantic throughout, helping to build a sense of panic, and the solo fits really well in this track. I like the strong religious themes in this track, rejecting organised religion as a way to fix people. It also takes aim at the American healthcare system's handling of mental health, specifically how it focuses on generally treating the symptoms rather than the root cause. Favourite lyric? If this is what you want, then fire at will. I like the defiance in this line. It's not narrated saying they will pursue their own path regardless of what others will tell them. Number 9. Save Yourself, I'll Hold Them Back. Danger Days is an album that divides opinion, however I personally am a big fan. In Save Yourself, I'll Hold Them Back, the first introduction to the main riff leads to an awesome and explosive start. When Gerard Way said, "I hope you're ready for a firefight," I really felt that one, you know, that really spoke to me, The guitars are definitely the highlight here, including the solo, which is another favourite of mine in the MCR discography, despite its brevity. Equally, this track is kept grounded with some fantastic bass work. I really enjoy the theme of this track. I can really imagine the Killjoys making a final stand, which fits with the feeling of triumph amidst danger running throughout. Favourite lyric? It ain't about all the friends you made, but the graffiti they write on your grave, which I personally interpret as your legacy defining who you truly are, instead of the temporary moments of your life. Number 8. Helena. This is a classic MCR track, and for good reason, as well as how a lot of fans discovered the band. Helena is lighter and poppier than the likes of Thank You For The Venom, but works equally well. It pairs the dark themes of death and a car crash with a slightly brighter sound. The track is dedicated to Gerard's grandmother, and specifically how he regretted not being there for her in the end, and the emotion of loss is very prevalent throughout. It perfectly opens 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, leaving you hooked on arguably the most iconic MCR chorus. The bridge takes some distorted vocals and pairs it with some brilliant drum work, helping to build anticipation. I also like the subtle use of sound effects, which further adds to the tense atmosphere. Favourite lyric? So long and good night. Simple, but Gerard's performance completely sells it. Number 7. Destroyer. Destroyer is a classic example of this shouldn't work, but really does. The track starts with a rhythmic building of percussion before the main raw riff kicks in. The drums here are inspired by the Holy Festival and really separate Destroyer from the rest of Danger Days. Destroyer is the most dramatic moment on the album, even featuring some strings in the chorus. In story terms, Destroyer is a god to the robots who will someday return and save them from oppression. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about here, I would highly recommend reading the Danger Days comics. It's a refreshingly unique take on religious criticism with a sci-fi spin, which Gerard has stated questions any religion that would put its foot down on people to keep them at a lower level. Before the final chorus, there's a pounding bass-driven moment with screeching guitars and dueling vocals, which I really love. The climax builds into absolute sonic madness with chants of Destroyer and I guess this time we're the enemy. I would dearly love to see this track live just to see the stupid things Gerard does during the section, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Favourite lyric? They don't believe in us, but I believe we're the enemy. I like the wordplay here and the theme of belief that runs throughout the entire chorus. Plus, Gerard's delivery is again phenomenal. Perfection has a form, and that form is Gerard Way. Number 6. Mama. Mama is just wild and easily the most progressive moment on the Black Parade. The track is loosely themed around Mother War, one of the characters in the Black Parade, and is narratively set around a soldier writing home to his mother. This track starts and ends with an vibe. There's a hilarious juxtaposition of quite upbeat instrumentation and the speaker resigning everyone to hell. As usual on this list, the chorus goes hard. The backing vocals add to a wall of sound, and it's my personal favourite moment in the song. The breakdown in the middle is possibly the heaviest moment in the entire MCR discography, with air raid sirens, abrasive drums, powerful guitars, and Gerard Way screeching like a banshee, aka the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. There's even a spoken word feature from Liza Minnelli before the grand final hook. Mama juggles so many elements and remarkably, it just works. Favourite lyric? And right now they're building a coffin your size. If that isn't the definition of the Black Parade aesthetic, then I don't know what is. Number 5. Welcome to the Black Parade. The quintessential MCR track is indeed one of their best. When I first listened, I was surprised a song this ambitious could get mainstream attention. I agree with the comparison with Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, because they're both story-driven and structurally unconventional songs that both achieve popularity. The introduction with its descending piano melody is nothing short of defining for a musical generation. Throw in some marching band instrumentation and you've got a fantastic start. The main chorus is pure pop-punk bliss with peppy guitars, excitable drums, as well as Gerard's memorable vocals. When the marching band returns, we get an even grander and more spacious sound, including some Queen-inspired guitar work. As with Mama, the amount of musical influences tastefully balanced on this track is nothing short of astounding. Favourite lyric? Would you be the saviour of the broken, the beaten and the damned, which I personally interpret as a commitment to better oneself and care for others in need. Number 4. Party Poison. This is probably the hottest take on this list, but Party Poison is the most fun you can have with a My Chemical Romance song with your clothes on. This is the hill I have chosen to die on. This track is Danger Days distilled, a bunch of guys enjoying writing the music they love. And if that means having to have an excitable Japanese voiceover, then that means having to have an excitable Japanese voiceover, damn it. I see this moment in the story as Gerard's character, Party Poison, speeding down the highway and only stopping to kick some ass. The chorus is absolutely infectious, and it really makes me wish I had some friends to party with.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
The guitars and drums bring so much energy and the vocal line is extremely catchy. The song is structurally super simple, but makes such a big impact and has such a huge ending that you feel totally satisfied. In short, that Party Poison serotonin really do be hitting different. Favourite lyric? This ain't a party, get off the dance floor. Absolutely what I would be saying to my enemies in a flamboyant Mad Max style dystopia. Number 3. Disenchanted. The first slow song on this list is a real emotional hitter. I particularly love this track in its context on the Black Parade. Lyrically, this is a very strong moment for the band. The protagonist reflects on his life and realises that in the grand scheme of things, it means nothing. He remembers his childhood, the good times, the bad, but as he teeters on the verge of death, he comes to terms with his life as fleeting but worthwhile. This track walks the tightrope of melancholy with style. You empathise with this character in their suffering completely. The intimate guitar and vocals make a peaceful beginning that later swells into huge instrumentation, again employing some strings. Like a lot of MCR songs, the chorus is instantly memorable. Favourite lyric? You're just a sad song with nothing to say. It's gut-wrenching, someone's life summed up as a sorrowful serenade that nobody can learn anything from and nobody will remember. Number 2. Cemetery Drive. This is my favourite 3 Cheers song and a really underrated moment in the MCR catalogue. The drum intro immediately grabs your attention and separates Cemetery Drive from other MCR songs. They're really well written and help to drive the piece throughout. The bass also shines with Mikey's parts helping to keep everything grounded and adding another layer of funkiness. For a brief and simple song, Cemetery Drive builds up really well. The addition of backing vocals in the second verse gently ups the intensity, then in the bridge, sizzling guitars turn up the heat, and finally Gerard's soaring vocals bring us to the emotional peak. I adore the storytell-like vibes at the beginning where Gerard sings about breaking into the cemetery. It's got a certain emo je ne sais quoi about it. Favourite lyric? Did you get what you deserve? This theme would later occur on the Black Parade in the track Dead. In abstract, I interpret it as questioning whether people are truly rewarded proportionally or not to their morality. And now for some honourable mentions. Firstly, Early Sunsets Over Monroeville for Gerard's stellar vocal performance. Secondly, Na Na Na, an awesome and compact pop song which, combined with Look Alive Sunshine, is a great opening 1-2 for Danger Days. Finally, I Never Told You What I Do for a Living, as an aggressive closer with real anger and power. Number 1. Famous Last Words. I adore this track unconditionally, it is my absolute favourite from MCR. Famous Last Words has some personal attachments to me. I bonded most of this track in the run-up to my Oxford interviews actually. To me, it stands as a message of triumph, that all the sacrifice, pain and hard work in life can indeed pay off. Famous Last Words is deeply entwined with Disenchanted and ends the Black Parade on an open note. Disenchanted is the protagonist at their lowest, on death's door accepting their fate. But Famous Last Words dares to ask, what if? That's the core of this track, the idea of a second chance, to live the life you squandered, to bravely face the world alone. It is the perfect note to end on, offering a final antidote to the inescapable darkness within the album. By no coincidence is this my favourite Gerard Way vocal performance. The pent-up energy at the beginning explodes into immense emotion and beautiful harmonies. The guitar work is thrilling, including the dramatic solo, which helps to reinforce this track as the true album climax. The closing vocals and organ adds a weighty, almost religious quality to the conclusion, which feeds into the artful ambiguity between life and death. Favourite lyric? I am not afraid to keep on living, I am not afraid to walk this world alone. Which is a reminder that no matter how rough things get, no matter how terrible life can seem, there is still hope. So, those were my top 10 My Chemical Romance songs. Do you agree? And what's your top 10? Tell me in the comments below. I'm hoping to keep up these occasional off-topic videos, so if you enjoyed, please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content. That's what I'm talking about. That is